Thank you very, very much. Yeah, there's some brochures in front of you. We've got the festival running till April 28th. It's a wonderful festival. Lots of great Irish-American theatre. Tim's play is awesome herself. Actually, an earthquake struck last week. In the middle of it, we ought to go to the sidewalk, and the actors picked it right back up like you were watching Netflix. So it's better than Netflix. It's fucking awesome. Anyway, this is a little piece from a play that I did by Ronan Noon. Had it at the Irish Rep last year. Bit of fun. Hope you don't mind the accent. I am an American. I may not sound like it, but I am. Got the green card. Worked hard to be a citizen. And when I came here first, I went to Ellis Island. And you probably know this story, but it's worth repeating in verse. There are anecdotes on the walls from immigrants who went through that hall, and this Italian guy said a saying of old. He'd heard the streets of America were paved with gold. Jesus, you're very good. But the day he got off that ship, he quickly learned 3 things allowing him to quit. 1, the streets were not paved with gold. 2, in fact, the streets were not paved at all. And 3, he didn't call this fella's boss. He had to fucking pave them all. Best guesstimates, my tale runs 70 odd minutes, but you'll hear about giant rats and robberies and things that take place on the 1% island of Amity. A vengeful mayor who wants to destroy a sycamore tree. I'll introduce you to my dysfunctional family and immigrants from all around the place. A car crash tragedy and how I was viewed as a bum. On my way to explaining the price you pay for American individualism. You see, I was a bartender, worked 4 nights a week, daytime maintained our house, the upkeep, and I'd write during the day, because I'd notions, you see, of becoming a writer of prose and poetry. But the thing about bartending, you're talking your stories when you should instead be picking up the pen. But money had to come in, and that's what I kept doing. Like a whore, you know. $1 for the drink, the tip, more dough. And the customers, you know, they like your stories, so it's how you build trust. And you must maintain their confidence, because you're their priest now. Their sins piling up like a feast now. They tell you their secrets with ease now. Infidelities, yeah. A sexual disease, even robberies. One old veteran told me about the guilt he felt from killing the Vietnamese. And soon you begin to realise you're working the Ronald McDonald of stale fucking stories. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against talking to people, and I like drinking. But I go home at night and I'm thinking, writing, I'm beat, so I roll the herb as a treat, count the money in me pocket, fuck it. What's the beef? Light the reef. If I pack in the job, the wife will go ape right. I mean, I can't escape right, but I consider myself an artist. And that's the other thing. The minute you say that, you just feel like a second-class citizen. And you may detect from my tone a certain apathy, because why now? Why tell this story? The inciting event? Bar was shut down. Didn't pay its rent. And Tina, the missus, good with the scissors, but gets ambitious. Gets a job in a hospital as a physician's assistant, which I was against, but she was insistent, because she was getting $25 a haircut. Now, she's back to $14.50 an hour, and we're back in the rut of poverty. Me with no work, sitting around feeling sorry. Obviously, earning money isn't easy in Amity. And I was looking after our 2-year-old baby, Edward, which we shortened to Ed. You see, we were living in a shack. Shingles rotten, the toilet out back because the plumbing doesn't work, and our slum landlord, who's a sad sack of shit, won't get it fixed. And we're paying $1,800 a month for this. And Tina's like, we need a house, Tim, because like our marriage is getting very brittle, so get off your ass and get out the hammer and sickle. Tina has a bit of a communist tickle. So, to add to the story, there are stains and old glory left from the remnants of a memento mori hanging over this town. Because a month before this time, there's a party going down in a house in the woods surrounding the town. Young kids, booze, coke, all sorts of shit. And this young kid, Phil Berkowitz, young, 18, gets boozed up right. Gets in his car, swerving and loaded, driving home that night. Then along a T-junction, Roberto, an undocumented Guatemalan, is driving a laundry van home from a function. Goes to pull out. Doesn't see Phil because it's a blind spot, you see. Legally 30 up the hill, but Phil doing 80. Yeah. Appears like an apparition. Smashes into Roberto, causing a fatal collision. Cause Phil, without a seatbelt seat, comes through the windscreen, head first into the trunk of a tree, breaking his neck, dying instantly. And Roberto gets thrown from the van, alive, but he's found unconscious. And it all becomes about his legal status, setting in motion the nativist apparatus. Because Phil's family goes back 6 generations, causing amongst the community great tensions. They want action, which leads to a divide between the legal and the illegal faction. And there are no sensitivities to political correctness. They demand the zillies, the wetbacks, the mix are rounded up and deported. Even the local newspaper, for clicks, writes an op-ed to support it. That's the cloud hanging over this town. And may you ask yourself, what's it to do with me, right? But Tina smells an opportunity, see. Brings me to this house, it's selling for 100,000 less than it should be, because it's the house that Phil was at having that party. And what with karma and all that, the owners don't want to be associated with tragedy. So Tina wants us to buy this 3-bedroom cape, because it's a deal. Wants us to be cozy. But I say, we're bust. What do you want me to do? And the real estate broker's getting uncomfortable. You guys, think it over. Get back to me in a day or two. And Tina explodes like a Molotov. Eddie starts crying. I walk off. Where are you going, Timothy? She always uses the full name when she's disgusted with me. Tina, I'd give you the world if I could. I would, but we can't live here. I can't make money appear. Well, like I said, get a job instead of drinking so much beer. Seriously, that's not fair. Don't you shout at me. Then she gives me the lash. You're turning us into WT. What? White trash? Maybe at this point you're getting bored with the exposition. Yeah? But there has to be context in my eventual position. You can always leave. I'll gladly give you a price of admission. Or you could see it as a way to make a small opportunity. Come on. I don't want you to feel cornered. Alright? Onward. I feel like shit. I've no wage. Where am I going to find it? So I go to the place where dreams disappear, the local hostelry where I needed a beer. And I was told a story that would determine the next steps in my career. And you're going to have to probably see it next time I perform this play, so thanks very much for having me.